Hey everyone, Anthony here. I hope you're doing well. We haven't used this camera angle in a while. So I want to talk about why I became a crypto millionaire. Usually people would talk about how they did it, and to me the how isn't really the interesting part. I took like a bunch of notes, but I'm only going to read the how stuff. I'm going to just talk off the top of my head for everything else. So the how is actually pretty simple because all you really have to do is be really wise and careful with your money and research everything before you invest. Be 100% confident before you put your money anywhere, plan ahead, research all the laws and anything that might happen in the future. Don't be too attached to your investment. If something's not meeting your financial goals or expectations, research other stuff to see if there's anything else out there that might make up for your current investment shortcomings. And also be really obsessed with protecting your investment. Learn how to store your Bitcoin safely and learn like security and password management and all that and put it into practice. So, why? What happened in my life that led me down this path? This is it's really personal. Hopefully everything makes sense and I get everything out concisely. I kind of take notes because I want to keep things in order and make sense because I know I have a hard time of doing that and I ramble and everything. My mind is just really disorganized, I guess. Like everything makes sense in my head, but expressing it to other people, I'm not so good at that. Anyway, let's get started with it, I guess. It started in way back in 2007. It actually started a lot earlier than that. Growing up, I failed high school. I didn't graduate. I failed English. I didn't graduate. I didn't get a diploma or anything. So leaving high school, uh, I got a job through a temp agency working at a factory, just putting things in boxes. I worked my way up to running the warehouse there. Uh, and by 2006, I moved out of my mom's apartment. So also before all this, uh, my parents split up in 2004 or 2005, something like that, when I was 18. They split up, so we had to leave from the house that we were in because we couldn't afford it, and my mom and I moved to a new city. So then both of us got a job at the same place through the temp agency. So I worked my way up and to running the warehouse. And with running the warehouse, it was like I was the only person there that would like I had to keep all inventory and load all the trucks and all that. So I was working 70 to 80 hours a week, which was a lot, especially like there's no time to sleep or like every time I would sleep, work would be on my mind, and it kind of really sucked. But $11 an hour, so money was good. It was the most money I ever made in my, not in my life, but at the time. So I moved out of my mom's apartment and was able to get my own apartment. From there, I think while I was still living in my mom's apartment, like I never had any friends in high school. I kept to myself. I was too like nervous to talk to anyone and didn't know how to talk to anyone, didn't feel like I related to anyone or anything like that. So yeah, I reunited with someone that I knew from high school, and from there, met like other people, hung out at their parents' houses on the weekends, and just had like I guess it was an escape from work and everything. So then when I got my own apartment, I would have parties there on the weekends and everything. And that's when I met my first girlfriend. So I was 20 at the time, and yeah, we would have like crazy parties there. I'll put up a picture of me and my first girlfriend. I did a reverse image search of it, so you can't find it anywhere. I don't think you could identify her from it. Yeah, so I had like all these parties every weekend at my apartment, and that's like I was still like way too nervous to talk to anyone. So I would just like get real drunk and just do crazy stuff and whatever and just act like an idiot. And that's how I thought, that's like the only way I knew of like interacting with people. I never like talked to them or connected with them or anything. So yeah, then uh, with my job and then with partying, like working 80 hours a week, it wasn't sustainable for me, and I would show up late to work, and I was too nervous to talk to my boss or my manager or anything. So, and tell him like why I was late, like I didn't want to be reprimanded or anything like that. So I just stopped. Like if I woke up late, I didn't even know how to tell him. Like if I showed up like 15 minutes late, I didn't know how to explain that. I was too afraid of getting reprimanded. So so I would just not show up for work that day, and then just not showing up for work one day eventually led to me like not showing up for like 2 or 3 days, and then I got fired from the job, which was actually kind of good. Not really good, but like a month or two later, they ended up going out of business anyway. But yeah, so losing the job, uh, I couldn't really afford my apartment anymore. And with the parties, I had like a good amount of savings saved up and stuff like that. Like I always saved money, and I thought I was careful with money. I guess now that I look back at it, I could have been more careful. But so I was always buying all the beer and food and everything for the parties. Uh, I was like getting towards the end of this partying stuff. Um, I was running out of money and was too afraid to ask people to like pitch in, because I didn't want like no one to show up, because like I felt like everyone wanted to be around me because like the amount of people that came to the parties and everything. I didn't want to ask them and then them just not show up because they couldn't afford it or whatever. Like I would feel like I was losing friends because of that. So I just never said anything about it and got like really depressed. And I guess like I was drunk and acted out what I was feeling and everything. And then like I would see like, because the parties were like dying down because I was depressed and couldn't afford the alcohol and all that, my girlfriend would spend more time with her friends instead of with me. So that really hurt too. So yeah, one night at the party, I was just like, my girlfriend and I didn't see each other for like a week and a half, something like that. It was like the longest we didn't spend time together. We were on like really rocky terms because I think a couple weeks before that we were on a break and she like cheated on me, and we got like back together kind of or something. But anyway, this night she like it was like the first time we would see each other in like a week and a half, so I was really looking forward to spending time with her and just having fun, and I wanted to like show her that I was fun and everything was back to normal and all that, um, which I guess was like kind of forced. Like I was forcing myself to do that. I didn't really feel that way. But so her and her friends show up, like I thought they were going to be there at 9 o'clock, and that's when she told me she would be there. They didn't end up showing up until like midnight or 12:30, and her friends just took like a bunch of beer and then left to go to some other party. And that like really, I was like way too drunk. We went the day before to get Everclear from New Jersey, which is like the highest percent alcohol. So I'm kind of getting off topic, but yeah, I got like really angry and punched a glass picture frame, and I don't know if you could see them, but I got like stitches and scars in my hands from that. And then like that was like the end of the parties and everything. And the last time that like my girlfriend talked to me, I mean like we talked, I still tried talking to her and like getting her back, but she just wouldn't uh, be a part of it. Anyway, that's not the point of all this. My relationship with that girl, like I really wanted to marry her. Uh, Her family lived in the nicest, richest part of the neighborhood, and like she was going to college and all that, and I don't know. I guess for some reason, like I like yeah, I felt like insecure because I felt her and her family were so much better than me because I didn't have an education or know what to do with a job or anything. So so yeah, like after that night at the party, like no one that I knew would like hang out with me or anything, and I, I just like I don't know. I just couldn't take it that like it felt like all my friends like left me and everything, and I didn't know what to do because like they would tell me like, "Oh, make new friends" and whatever, which really hurt because I didn't want to make friends and I didn't know how to make friends. Like I was way too socially awkward and didn't know how to reach out and talk to people. And the way that like all that stuff happened, that I had all those friends, is because I had one friend that introduced me to all the other friends. So since I didn't have anyone now, I didn't know where to start or anything like that. So long story short, I just couldn't deal with the breakup and with not having a job. Also with like not having a job, when I did have a job, I co-signed for one friend to go to college, which was a $75,000 loan. So the jobs that were available, the job that I took through a temp agency was like $8 or $9 an hour, working 40 hours a week. So I wouldn't be able to afford my apartment, and then I was afraid of if I kept working there, my wages would get garnished because of that loan that I co-signed. So I just didn't know like any way out of any of the stuff that any of the mess that I was in. So I ended up going to the psych ward uh, for like multiple suicide attempts, and I was there. I think it was like 9 times in a year and a half. While I was there, they diagnosed me with uh, autism and bipolar and schizophrenia and depression, and they had me on like all these medications, which I never like consistently took any of the antidepressants or the antipsychotic medications. I tried them for like a couple days and then gave up. Uh, it takes like 30 days for them before you see any effects of them. But I would take like all the Xanax and the Ambien that they gave me in like one day and just black out because I didn't know, because I just couldn't deal with everything that was going on in my life. I didn't know like a way out. So I would just like black out and try to forget about everything, I guess. Also with the Xanax being like supposed to help with anxiety and stuff, I thought that that was my reason why I wasn't making friends, that because I was too nervous around like new people. So I would take like when I would go out socially, I would take like a Xanax, and if I was too nervous or things weren't going as planned, like with interacting with people, I would take like another Xanax because I thought that me being nervous is what the problem was. But that wasn't actually the problem. The problem is that I didn't know how to talk to people. So, where am I? So, yeah, also with being diagnosed with all that stuff and being put on disability, I was too embarrassed to tell like anyone about it. So I kept that like a big secret from everyone. Like a couple people knew, like my mom and my grandma knew. And I also kept in touch with my ex-girlfriend's father because, well, at one party, this is a whole nother story. So like, I think like 5 months after we broke up, after that party at my house, uh, someone invited me over their house, like one of my old friends from the parties that I had. And I went over there and no one was talking to me. And I got like real drunk and angry and threw a giant rock into the hood of her car because she wouldn't talk to me. And she went like, I don't want to get into that story. But yeah, so I ended up talking to her father because I had to pay for the damage to her car. And so I kept in contact with him and uh, all that. So those are the two things that led me to where I am. Like, I was disabled, I didn't graduate high school, I didn't know, like, there was no way to get the type of life that I wanted. Like, I wanted to get my girlfriend back, and I felt that the reason that she left is because I didn't have a good enough job for her to want to be with me. So I lost track again. And also with being embarrassed and stuff, I wanted to like work my way up to having a good job and do it like without going to college because I couldn't afford college or anything. And I didn't even know how to get my GED. Like, I looked into it like once and it just seemed like this whole complex process. And I'm sure now like I could figure it out now that I'm older and my head is clearer and I could like figure out things on my own. But yeah, so I spent like all my time trying to study computer stuff because there were like all these people that I knew from school that went to college and had like office jobs and they didn't have to do like manual labor, and it felt like a dream to do that, to leave like factory jobs and be able to do like an office job or some like tech job or something like that. So I started studying computer stuff, and that's when I like met up with people online, and uh, everyone was into jailbreaking iPhones then, and I guess I wanted to be different, so I got an Android HTC Aria and like hacked that, and then met up with people there with computer stuff in like an IRC channel, and I still talk to them to this day. Then I started learning about computers from them and everything, and that's how I have like all these computers, because I became obsessed with learning about them and studying and everything. And also like it became like an escape for me. Like I knew like if I just sat around and worried about my problems and everything all the time, that I would just get back in the same place that I was before and just be like depressed and unaccomplished and not solve any of my problems or anything. So I thought that, yeah, like studying all this stuff would get me like a good job. Well, it turns out like the one job that I got at a computer repair place, the guy was a complete idiot about repairing computers, and I was just too frustrated with all that. So I ended up leaving. It's like a different story with that. And then the other job in my area that I got was repairing computers for this big company who had other companies come in that I don't want to explain that, but that was 2015, that last job, like 2 years after I got involved in cryptocurrency. But yeah, cryptocurrency was like the only way out that I saw, that if I invested some money into it, that it was like the only thing that I had, the only way that I would be able to make enough money to have a family and all that. So yeah, I'll put up pictures here of the Litecoin miners that I built back in 2013. They were pretty cool. I ran them for like a little over a year. But yeah, now I don't know. Like, I spent like 6 or 7 years trying to do all this stuff to like work my way to getting this ex-girlfriend back. And meanwhile, like, she was engaged to someone else. They broke up, and then now she lives like across the country with her boyfriend now, and they've been together like 5 or 6 years or something. And like, I know there's no chance of that ever happening, us ever getting back together. And that's okay, because I realized that it wasn't like my financial failure that caused our breakup. I mean, that was part of it, definitely, but also it wouldn't have worked out anyway because I wanted to get married and have kids, and she didn't want that. And she was like, our whole relationship back then, like, she was like into being a hippie and doing like smoking weed and doing acid and all that. And I didn't want that like in the future and all that. It wouldn't work out even if we did get back together. But yeah, that's why That's why I made so much money on cryptocurrencies, because it was the only option I ever had to accomplish my goals. And I didn't just like invest and it just all of a sudden happened. I was researching it every single day and trying to predict the future and figure out like the good things and bad things about it and all of its flaws, and like actively researching and trying to protect my investment as well. It wouldn't have worked out if I just mined Litecoin and forgot about it. The big thing that happened is that because I was so involved in the cryptocurrency community and researching and everything like that every day, it was like all that I thought about. Because of that, I was able to see Ethereum in October of 2015. Well, way before that, I heard about Ethereum and then started researching it. And in October of 2015, I traded my Litecoin for Ethereum. Like at that point, I had researched enough to feel that it was a good enough investment, and that it improved and innovated more than anything that I've ever saw before in the space. That's why I don't like people saying like, "Oh, you just came into money and you didn't do anything to earn this." Like that hurts because I forget about what I actually did to accomplish that. And I know I have to continue doing that and continue researching, not because I need more money. I don't want any more money. Um, I want a girlfriend and a family and to use the money to start a family and raise a kid and all that. But I also have to still protect my investment. So I have to get back into that. Oh, it's also my birthday today, my 32nd birthday. So yeah, that's it. That's my story. Thank you guys who stayed here till the end to listen. I know it's been a long video. If you want to subscribe, you can subscribe and do all that. Thank you, take care, and bye.